What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Tower of God New World. In today's video, we are going to talk about the brand new SSR character Ruan Mei and whether or not you should invest in this character. But before I get started on the video, make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and also turn on post notification bells so that you guys can always stay tuned as I post new videos. I really appreciate it. And if you guys are new here on the channel, I have a Discord server, so if you guys are interested, you can head on over to the channel description. You see the server link there, and I'll also put the server link in the comment section down below. But anyways, let's not waste any time. Let's hop right into the video. So if you guys haven't watched my summon video, I was able to reach 1 red star with Ruan Mei. I played too much Honkai Star Rail, but I was able to bring her up to 1 red star. And after I made that video, I also got 2 more copies of her because of the growth mission, and I was able to bring her up to 3 red stars. So let's go ahead and talk about her kit. So if I can actually find her, okay, there she is. So let's talk about her skills. So first thing we have is her passive. It says if there is an ally other than herself with less than 100% HP, Ruan Mei will use basic attacks to heal the ally for 100% of her attack instead of attacking enemies. In addition, allies who recovered HP or gained a barrier from Ruan Mei's skill or basic attacks become immune to stun for 4 seconds. If an ally immune to stun is hit with a stun attack, the attacker takes 200% of Ruan Mei's attack as damage and becomes silenced for 2 seconds. So looking at her passive, it seems like her passive literally scales off of her attack. Like her healing right off the bat scales off of attack. So attack is going to be an important stat on this support character. And it says that Ruan Mei will use basic attacks to heal the ally for 100% of her attack instead of attacking the enemy. So whenever one of her allies whenever their HP is below 100%, she is going to stop attacking the enemy, and then she's going to focus on healing your ally's HP. So that's actually pretty cool, the fact that once your ally's HP is below 100%, she's going to automatically focus on healing your allies instead of attacking the enemy. And then it says Ruan Mei's skills or basic attacks become immune to stun for 4 seconds. So when she's casting her skills or basic attack, whenever her allies are about to recover HP, or if they gain a barrier from Ruan Mei's skills or basic attack, they will become immune to stun for 4 seconds. So that's pretty much her passive. And you also have stun immunity, ally stun immunity. And this is pretty much the counter right here. If you guys haven't watched my video when I was reacting to her trailer, there was a counter mechanic in her passive, and this is pretty much her counter. So it says if an ally immune to stun is hit with the stun attack. So if an enemy is about to stun your ally, let's say an enemy is about to stun Hwaryun and Hwaryun is immune to stun, Hwaryun will basically receive a counter from Ruan Mei. Ruan Mei will attack the enemy based off of 200% of her attack, and she will also silence the enemy for 2 seconds. That's pretty much how the counter works. The counter only works if your ally is immune to stun and they're still hit with the stun attack, then Ruan Mei will activate the counter. That's how it works. And then for her active one-shot, Ruan Mei drops a lighthouse on a random enemy's location, dealing 800% of her attack as damage to enemies in range and knocking them down for 2 seconds. Enemies in the center of the target area take 400% of her attack as additional damage. So her one-shot active skill is pretty simple. It's not complicated at all. It's just damage, and she knocks the enemy down for 2 seconds, and that's pretty much it. For her second active, which is Chain Heal, Ruan Mei summons a healing lighthouse and sends it to the ally with the lowest HP percentage. So whenever their HP is below a certain percentage, she is going to activate Chain Heal, and this lighthouse is going to restore their HP by 640% of her attack. After healing the target, the lighthouse moves to the next ally with the lowest HP percentage and heals them. This is why this active skill is called Chain Heal, because after she heals the ally with the lowest HP, the lighthouse is going to move on to the next ally who has low HP as well. So that's pretty much how her Chain Heal works. Now it says the lighthouse moves up to 3 times or until there is no ally to heal. So The lighthouse can only heal 3 allies. It can't heal everybody on your team. It can only heal 3 allies because it says the lighthouse moves up to 3 times, and that's pretty much it. And it says until there is no ally to heal. So if your team's HP is maxed, like if everyone's HP is maxed, it's capped out, the lighthouse won't even work. It won't even heal at all because everybody's HP is maxed out. And it also says here on the bottom, Ruanmei will not use this skill if all of her allies are at their max HP. So if everyone has max HP, she will not activate chain heal. So she basically has no overhealing in her kit. She can't overheal. Now for her special move, her special move is insane. Ruanmei creates a barrier for all allies equal to 1000% of her attack for 8 seconds. Allies with a barrier have their effect resistance increased by 60%, not 60%, but just 60, flat 60, while it is active. Ruanmei becomes immune to status effects while using this skill. So this barrier is extremely strong because the fact that it has like 1000% scaling it's crazy. So it's pretty obvious that attack is going to be the most important stat on this character because attack increases her barrier strength, and on top of that increases her healing. So attack is definitely the way to go for this character. So that's pretty much her kit. Her kit summarizes pretty much healing, barrier, stun immunity, damage, and that's it. She can't do a lot of damage, but she can do a decent amount of damage. Now when we move on to her ignition weapon system, now the set that you guys should use on this character is the Doris set bonus. Now the reason why you should use Doris set bonus is because the Doris set bonus gives her additional swiftness. The 2-piece set effect gives her 10 swiftness, and then for the 4-piece set effect, she will give back row allies a barrier that scales off of her attack, and they will also have their swiftness increased by 20, which is really dope. So this set is this is her best in slot set because you want to spam her special move as much as possible so that she can basically have 100% uptime like for her barrier, so that she can keep your team alive, because the barrier is extremely tanky. So you want to get as much swiftness as much as possible on this character. So this set pretty much benefits her, and on top of that, she provides a barrier that scales off of her attack to back row allies. So this kit synergizes perfectly with her. Now if we look at the the second newest ignition weapon, I'm pretty sure it's the attack one. So if I scroll down right here, no, it's up top right here, the Rihanna set, it's not bad, because if you want to focus on giving her a strong shield, like if you want to focus on her barrier strength, Rihanna's set is not bad because it gives her additional attack. But I feel like the Doris set is way better because it increases her swiftness, which allows her to spam her special move, and then on top of that, you can provide a barrier to your back row allies and give them additional swiftness as well. So I feel like Doris set is way better than Rihanna for her, because Doris set gives her swiftness and the barrier also scales off of her attack. So you definitely want to put the Doris set on her. It's her best in slot. If you want to put in Rihanna's set, it's not bad. I would definitely recommend you guys to put the 4-piece Doris set on her instead. But if you want to use the Rihanna set, I would recommend you guys to use 2-piece Rihanna set and use 2-piece Doris set. Don't use the full 4-piece set Rihanna set on Ruanmei. It's not really worth it. Just go for 2-piece Doris and 2-piece Rihanna, or just 4-piece Doris instead. Now if you guys are wondering which stats are important on this character, the most important stats of course are attack. Attack is extremely important because it increases her barrier strength and also her healing. Crit rate, crit damage, it doesn't really matter because she is not a damage dealing character, so you don't really have to focus on crit rate and crit damage at all. Crit hit resistance, it's not bad. It just reduces the amount of damage she can receive from crit hits, and that's pretty much it. Critical damage reduction is the same thing as well. Now out of all the 3 stats right here, accuracy, evasion, and swiftness, the most important stats are evasion and swiftness. The reason why evasion and swiftness are more important than accuracy is because she is not a DPS character, so she doesn't really have to land her attacks on the characters that much. Evasion increases her survivability, and swiftness allows her to use her special move more often. So you want her to focus on evasion and swiftness. Accuracy is good, but it's not the main focus of her kit. And for magic pierce and physical pierce, you don't really have to worry about that because she's not a damage dealing unit. You want to mostly focus on magic resistance, physical resistance, effect resistance, and also some effect hits so that she can land the stun on the enemy. That's all you want to worry about, and that's pretty much it. So those are the top stats you want to focus on. I'll say like the top 3 stats are attack, evasion, and swiftness. Those are like the top 3, but of course magic resistance and physical resistance, those stats come after. So that's pretty much the ignition weapon system. And when we move on to her exclusive equipment, now her exclusive equipment is not game changing. It's pretty simple. I'll say like the best levels are level 1 and level 3, because level 1, it basically gives her, she can drop in another lighthouse on the battlefield, which increases her healing capabilities, which is really good. And then for level 3, it says allies who have their barriers from heavenly blessing removed are healed for 200% of Ruan Mei's attack. So when she does her special move, and then when the barrier goes away from every ally, she's going to heal them even more. So that's honestly pretty good. And for level 4, she increases the duration of stun immunity from divine intervention. And then for level 2, she can increase the number of times chain heal lighthouse can heal allies by 1. So that's pretty much her exclusive equipment. And another thing I want to talk about is Xia. So we all know that Xia, she is also a red support unit. So if we were to compare both characters, I would definitely say that Ruan Mei is better, and I'm going to show you guys why Ruan Mei is better. Now, the reason why I feel like Ruan Mei is better is because Xia, she is a good character, but as up to right now, red element is still incomplete because we don't have a red tank. So Xia's passive, it's really good, but Xia's passive is mostly focused towards a red element team because it says Xia increases the attack of red element allies by 28% at the start of the battle. So if you're using a red element team, Xia, her passive would be really good. But as of to right now, we are still missing a red tank unit. So that's like one of the main reasons why I feel like Ruan Mei is way better, because Ruan Mei, she can provide an AoE shield to your whole team. She can do way more heals. And on top of that, her healing is AoE. Xia, her healing isn't AoE, it's single target. And single target, I feel like AoE is way better than single target, because single target, you're only focusing on one ally versus AoE, which is focusing on everybody. So that's the main reason why Ruan Mei is way better as of to right now, because of that AoE healing and also the barrier as well. There's just a lot to Ruan Mei's kit that just makes her better, and I'm going to show you guys why. So if I come over here to arena and we come to arena simulation, now this is what I'm going to do. We are going to use the same exact team for each other. So this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go, like, I'm going to go up against the AI team, and we're just going to use the same team. But the only difference is that Xia and Ruan Mei, I'm going to use Ruan Mei on my team, and then for the AI enemy team, I'm going to use Xia. So we're going to see which character can perform better in the team. Like, let's see if Xia's performance in this team is better than Ruan Mei's performance. So let's go ahead, let's do a quick result, and you guys will literally see what I'm talking about. Now, of course, it's going to be RNG sometimes, but most of the time this team wins. And look at this. So look at the stats. Ruan Mei doing 293 billion damage. She's able to tank 476 million damage, and her healing is 549 million. And when we look at Xia, her damage is way less than Ruan Mei's. She was able to take around 160 billion damage, and then her healing was 217 billion. So Xia, she still does good healing, but when you compare it to Ruan Mei, you can clearly see that Ruan Mei, she's just overall better. Like, she takes a lot more damage, she does more damage, and she also heals more. So overall, Ruan Mei is doing really well. Like, the fact that she's able to keep up with Rachel in terms of damage is crazy. So Ruan Mei definitely better than Xia as of to right now. So that's pretty much my take. Now, I also tested her in mock battle. Now, Ron May is actually really good to use against, like, she's a really good unit to use against Quant and Mock Battle. So the team that I was using is basically Ron May right here, Vespa to of course lower Quant's swiftness, Zohar because he can tank a lot. Zohar is not really a good tank unit, but for some reason, like, he's a good tank unit, but he's not really good against bosses. But for some reason, Zohar did way better than Eric Mazino in this team, which was weird. So I put Zohar in this team because he was able to silence Quant. And then you have Verdi, who was of course doing the most damage, and we have Apple, who's going to reduce Quant's evasion. So I'm going to go ahead and shut up, and I'm going to show you guys this team's potential and why Ron May, she can be really good against bosses because of her barrier. So let's go ahead and get started. So you guys basically saw her performance, and you can see how much healing she's able to do. She's able to do around like 80 million healing, and look how much damage she's able to take. She's able to take around like 64 million damage. So the reason why she's really good against Quant and Mock battles because of her barrier, of course, which basically increases the survivability of your team overall, because the main focus of this team is to keep Vespa alive, because Vespa is a crucial character for this team because she will slow down Quant so that he won't one-shot everybody on your team. And she just, like, her barrier is just so good overall. Like, her barrier is just good. Like, the fact that she can provide an AoE barrier that's extremely strong, it's really good. Now, of course, you know, Quant, once you beat him, like once you do more damage, deal more damage to him, he's going to do more nuclear damage. So of course, you know, her barrier just won't be enough. But I feel like the more attack you put on her, the stronger her barrier will become, and your team is just going to be extremely tanky overall. So this is pretty much the team I'm using against Quant in mock battle, and we were able to do way more damage than our previous team, which is a really good sign. So she's definitely going to be good against bosses because of that barrier. Now against Kunadon, maybe not, because Kunadon just counters projectile units, but I can definitely see her potential against bosses with that barrier. So my take on this character is that she is a good unit, but the real question is, do you need her? And my honest answer is, I'm gonna say no. The reason why you don't need this character is because when we look at other units, for example, Uric Mazano, right, SSR plus unit, at this point everybody should have an Uric Mazano at this point. He is an awesome shield unit, really good. And if you don't even have Uric Mazano, you have Hwoarang. Hwoarang, she can provide a barrier, she can also increase your team's swiftness. And then if you guys think that's not enough, you also have another support unit, for example, Yeon. Yeon is a really good support unit because she's extremely tanky and she can reduce the enemy's green element resistance. So you have so many other support units that do very well. And I would definitely say that Ruan Mei is not a requirement. She is that type of character that's just not a requirement. If you are wondering whether or not you should pull for this character, don't worry, she is not a requirement. Does that mean she's trash? No, she's actually good. And a matter of fact, like I said, she is literally better than Gia because her kit, she just does a lot. She provides barrier, she can heal, and I already proved to you guys that she can heal way more than Gia, and she can deal way more damage than Gia as well. So this character, she is definitely a good character. If you want her, she's pretty solid. Like, I can definitely see her potential in the end game for sure. The only problem is survivability. She can be extremely squishy, but the same applies to almost every single support unit. For example, Gia, they can literally get one tapped. So that's why I say evasion is extremely important, so that you can increase her survivability. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This character, should you summon for this character? I'll say yes, you should summon for her, but does that mean that she's a requirement? No. But if you are planning on summoning for this character, she's definitely good for sure. So if you want to get this character, she is good. I feel like she, like on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely put her as an 8 out of 10 support unit. She does her job as a support. She can literally keep your team alive. She can do good damage, and she can also heal as well. And she also have a counter mechanic in her passive, which allows her to do even more damage on top of that. So this character is definitely good. I can definitely see her potential in the future, and I feel like the more copies you get on her, the more healing she can provide, and on top of that, the stronger her barrier will become. But anyways, that'll be it for the video. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and put your thoughts up in the comment section what you guys think overall. I'll to see y'all's opinions. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.